certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome in. I'm Meteorologist Ross Mummah, and we are yet again waiting for another round of some showers, potentially some strong to even severe thunderstorms here this afternoon and now continuing into the evening hours. And it's not hard to find kind of the source of where all of this energy is coming from. A big upper level low situated right over kind of Louisiana and Mississippi right now, in a surface low pressure system trying to develop in the northern Gulf, really just south of the New Orleans area. A plume of moisture and thunderstorms hitting the northern Gulf Coast states, and that will all be headed our way here as we head into the weekend and even into early next week. But at least for this evening, we're really just kind of watching for some sea breeze convergence and some sea breeze collision areas here across the first coast. And there actually are a couple different boundaries, making things kind of difficult to depict where some of the storms are going to potentially develop and where they may end up going to. So as of right now, no watches or warnings in effect, so that's some good news for your Friday night. We do, though, have at least one isolated thunderstorm up near St. Simon's Island and kind of the Fernandina Beach area. And then you see that line extended through the central part of Charlton County out towards Valdosta. That is really just a remnant of an outflow boundary from a previous kind of storm complex. So pretty much from Valdosta straight eastward out towards Fernandina Beach, that's where we have one boundary. Then we have the Gulf Coast sea breeze trying to work its way eastward. That's depicted by that yellow line. So you have a westerly winds trying to push in the sea breeze from the Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, our Atlantic Coast sea breeze is just now making its way inland. It's passed over the intercoastal and is headed towards that I-95 corridor, likely between about 4 and 5 p.m. here within the next hour. So three separate boundaries that we're currently watching. That thunderstorm that is firing up over Nassau and Camden County near the Fernandina Beach area, that is from the Atlantic Coast sea breeze and that outflow boundary colliding together. So that's why that one storm has developed. We also have just a few other ones slowly trying to pop a little bit further south. We're down towards southern St. Johns County and into Flagler County. But for the time being, the storm activity has not materialized. We are kind of expecting this to be a little bit more of an evening event. So by 5, I do expect a few more cumulus cloud tops to begin to develop and intensify. We're not expecting a widespread rain and storms. I think we're going to have pockets of isolated storms here or there. But for the ones that do develop, expect a lot of lightning, frequent lightning, very, very heavy rainfall, and the potential for some gusty winds anywhere from about 45 upwards of 65 miles per hour. But as I said, this is a little bit of a conditional scenario. Yesterday, we were also expecting storms. Areas to the north of Brunswick saw a lot, and areas to the south of Palm Coast and really down towards Daytona Beach also saw quite a bit of storm activity. We didn't see nearly as much here on the first coast, primarily for two reasons. One, we had that westerly breeze pretty much all day, and it pinned the Atlantic Coast sea breeze right along the beaches. It never was able to work its way inland, and because of that, we didn't really have a forcing mechanism to get some of those storms fired up and going. So that was one thing. Also, we just had a little bit too much cloud cover, especially earlier on in the day. We had some high cirrus clouds mixed in with some mid-level clouds that kind of stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. There was plenty of energy, plenty of juice at the surface, but we really needed a little bit more destabilization to get those storms to develop yesterday. That didn't happen. That certainly could be a possibility here today as well, but already it looks like our cloud tops are a little bit higher, a little bit taller than what we saw yesterday afternoon. So right here is our Anders camera. So this is over on the south side, pretty much looking due east-northeast. So right where those cloud tops are at, that's pretty much where the sea breeze is currently at. So areas further back to the east, you've got clear skies, at least for the time being, blue skies behind it, and areas to the west, we're starting to still see some of those clouds begin to bubble up here throughout this afternoon. So as I said, we got plenty of juice in store. We had it yesterday. We had it out there again today. Temperature-wise, it is hot. It is steamy, upper 80s. Mayport's at 88. Jacksonville and Keystone Heights both at 90 degrees. Dew point-wise, very, very humid, moist over at the coastline of the beaches. St. Augustine all the way up to Brunswick, you got dew points in the low to mid 70s. That's because that sea breeze is working its way inland. Now, areas ahead and to the west of the sea breeze, still in the mid 60s. So you got a 64-degree dew point in Jax. Similar story down in Orange Park at NAS Jax. So there is certainly plenty of moisture in the air for some of these storms to develop. You combine the two, real field temperatures and those heat indices feeling like the upper 80s and low to mid 90s in some spots. This is another way to kind of look at it, just looking to where some of those winds are currently at. So it won't be too much longer before that easterly breeze finally does hit the I-95 corridor. And the slight risk, the level 2 out of 5 out from the Storm Prediction Center today, is pretty much mirroring what we're currently seeing out there. So it's going to be areas closer to the coastline. Really think Highway 301 eastward and out toward the beaches. That's going to be the best chance to see not only some rain, but potentially some strong to severe storms. So again, we're not expecting a widespread storm coverage. It's going to be isolated to scattered thunderstorms here this evening. Primary threats, wind gusts anywhere from about 50 to 70 miles per hour. Could see some quarter-sized hail. We'll get into that here in a little bit as well. And of course, the heavy rain and frequent lightning going to be a concern. So this is something I love to show. I've shown it here the last couple of days. This really just kind of takes into effect the heat, the humidity, and the instability. So how much energy is in the atmosphere and available for some of these storms to develop. Now, of course, this is all model data, but it depicts it pretty well, that sea breeze coming in. So think pretty much just from the south side down through Green Cove Springs, down towards Palatka, pretty much right over the St. Johns River, where those yellows, those orange and reds are. Plenty of energy there, unstable air mass. That's where we're going to be watching for some storms to develop here this evening, and then continuing, pretty much closer to sunset. Hail-wise, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Tim and I did. It's not going to be probably a major concern. There might be some isolated pockets of penny to quarter-sized hail, but really we're not too concerned overall with the hail risk here today or over the next couple of days as we head into the weekend, because the weather impact alert is not just for tonight. It's also for your Saturday, your Sunday, and your Monday. So a big about 3-4 day rain and thunderstorm event here across the First Coast. The difference is yesterday and today primarily were inspired, I guess I should say, by the sea breeze collisions and some of those different boundaries. Starting tomorrow, it's really going to be that surface low that starts to move into the Gulf. That is going to just kind of bring waves of energy. So waves and rounds of showers and storms for Saturday, Sunday, and then the main kind of line moves through on Monday afternoon and evening. So a little bit of a different setup as we do head into the weekend. But at least for tonight, again, this will run pretty much from now until 9 p.m. That's going to be your greatest window for or to see some severe thunderstorms out there. So 5-6 p.m. Models are trying to depict those thunderstorms developing up and along that sea breeze collision area, pretty much from 301 eastward. So this has it at 6 p.m. pretty much right over I-95. And then thanks to winds aloft coming out of the west, any storms that do develop west of downtown will work their way back. So let's say, we get a storm to develop over by Cecil Field or, over Sanderson and Baker County. Those storms will work their way back eastward, back towards downtown and the beaches. So although you might not see a storm here right now, let's say, out at the beach, the sea breeze has come in, you're looking dry, you're thinking you're going to be good because the sea breeze has already moved past you. Well, actually, some of those storms might work their way back east closer to sunset and even after that. So although the storm risk will begin to diminish after 9, we still could see some rain chances post 9 o'clock and really through about the midnight hour here later this evening. So upcoming rain chances, I've talked about it the last several days with Tim. We've tried to stress it as much as possible. Numerous to, if not widespread, rain on the way for your Saturday, your Sunday, and your Monday. We'll dive into the overall rainfall chances here, but an additional 3 to 6 inches of rain certainly appear likely. I think 2 to 4 inches is probably the most likely or best case scenario for how much most people will see with regards to rainfall, but there will be some isolated pockets of higher amounts, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But for tomorrow then, another chance for some severe storms. We're going to have a marginal risk all weekend long, and I expect into next Monday as well for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Threats will continue to be the same with regards to, your wind, some small hail. The storms may be slow moving at times, so heavy rainfall could certainly train over the same locations throughout the weekend, so that could also lead to some minor street flooding. So just be mindful of that if you do have any outdoor plans. Hopefully, you've already tried to think of some other things to do this weekend. I know it's, a holiday weekend, Mother's Day weekend. You might have things planned with mom outside. It won't be an all-day rain event for tomorrow, Saturday, or on Sunday, but just know there will be waves of rain and some thunderstorms rolling on in. So at least pack the umbrella if you do plan to go out at all, and keep a watchful eye on that First Coast News app for any of those push alerts for a severe thunderstorm watch or a severe thunderstorm warning or anything of that nature. But I do just want to stress, don't expect it to be just all-day rain nonstop. You will have some pockets of dry time, but when the storms do come through, especially in the afternoon and evening hours, some of them could be on that stronger side. Rain-wise, okay, I kind of touched on this a little bit. 2 to 4 inches of rain are quite likely for nearly all of us across the First Coast, especially for the more coastal areas. But some pockets of higher amounts will be possible, upwards of about 4 to 8 inches of rain. I would say the best chance to see the upper echelon of that would be from 95 over to the coastline and the beaches. So our coastal areas have the best chance to see some of those stronger or higher rain totals here. And again, can't stress this enough. Each and every afternoon and evening, we will have that chance for at least a few stronger, if not severe, thunderstorms, which of course will keep you updated as much as possible here online and streaming on First Coast News Plus. But for tonight, at least, for any fans going over to the Jumbo Shrimp, they lucked out last night. The game was, allowed to continue. We didn't have any storms impact it. Might be a different story tonight. Storms will be possible pretty much, before first pitch at 7, after first pitch. So we'll have to kind of just play it by ear. Hopefully they're able to get the game in tonight and tomorrow evening as well. First pitch is going to be at 6:35, but it's a little bit of a toss-up here at this point. And models are showing, again, another big wave of moisture, some rain and storms rolling on through pretty much at game time tomorrow night for the Jumbo Shrimp. So if you do have tickets to the game tomorrow night, you might want to just think about maybe going to the movies. An inside event might be a better bet for you out there tomorrow evening. Sunday then, for your Mother's Day, we do expect the mornings to be overall drier, but showers will pretty much be possible at any point throughout the day on both your Saturday and your Sunday. So maybe you go into a church service or, just a morning brunch with mom there Sunday morning. Don't be surprised if you see rain. It's not going to be a widespread all-day event, but it certainly will be possible. We expect, though, the afternoons and those evening hours, once you get kind of into the peak heating and the highest instability of the day, that'll be your best chance to see some stronger storms, some heavier rainfall, and that's clearly depicted in some of the models that we're looking at here right now. So 4 p.m. Sunday, that's a lot of heavy rain making its way from the I-75 corridor eastward out towards Jacksonville. So this is just kind of a zoomed out version of what you just looked at. You can see that surface low pressure kind of just swirling around over the Mississippi Delta and Mobile Bay in Alabama. That is what's just continuing to bring in all this moisture, all this rainfall, and all these storms as we head throughout the rest of the weekend and even into early next week. We do have more rain and potentially a pretty strong, potent line of rain and storms making its way in by Monday afternoon and evening. So the difference really between today and tomorrow is just primarily going to be the coverage in rainfall. Today, we're kind of thinking about 60 to 70% of the First Coast happens to see some rain. Tomorrow and Sunday, closer to about 80 to 90% of us will see rain. So just, have the rain jacket ready, the umbrella ready, and have some backup plans in place there for your mom or for, whatever you got going on here this weekend. Now, I do want to just point out, I mentioned, Monday, perhaps a pretty potent line of showers and storms making its way in. The moisture content kind of increases. You get an influx of that low-level moisture right before the drier air pushes in behind it. So Monday really might be our heaviest rainfall here over the next 3 or 4 days. After that, then Tuesday, we might see a few showers early in the morning, but much drier air is wrapped in around on the back side of this system. A lot of sinking air. So some drier skies will return then after Monday and especially into the middle of next week. This is what the Weather Prediction Center is looking at with regards to how much rain we could expect here over, this says the next 7 days, but really this is only looking through about Tuesday. I've talked about this a lot. Coastal areas up and down I-95 over toward the beaches will probably have the best chance. And we certainly need it. I mean, St. Johns County, Putnam, Flagler, we're in an extreme to even a severe drought. So we need several inches of rain. Thankfully, it's going to come over a several day span. So this is drought busting, quenching rainfall for the ground here across the First Coast. But it's really going to heat up after the rain moves out then. I know this is looking ahead a little bit further, but so Tuesday, that low clears on out, and then high pressure moves in from our southwest. So a huge ridge of high pressure and what will eventually turn into a heat dome pretty much sets up right over the Gulf. Because of that, our temperatures are going to surge. So really starting on, I'd say even Wednesday, but especially Thursday, Friday, and then into next weekend, we get this big increase in temperatures. Dew points will still be relatively high. So temperature-wise, we're probably looking at low to, if not mid-90s by Thursday and Friday. But real field temperatures, when you factor in the humidity, going to be feeling like anywhere from about 95 to 100 for the end of next weekend, or for the end of next week, I should say, and then into next weekend. So that's, I guess, something to look forward to if you're a fan and a lover of the warm weather. That will be on the way. Really kind of our first big heat wave of the year, coming probably a little bit earlier than we typically see. So if you haven't kind of prepped yourself for that summertime heat, that's going to be on the way then by pretty much this time next week. But the big takeaway, the big key point here is going to be those rain and thunderstorm chances tonight, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We have a weather impact alert in effect for all 3 of those days. For tonight, it runs through 9 p.m. That'll be your best window to see some of those stronger storms. Temperature-wise, Monday's probably looking to be the coolest of the days, especially just based on the timing of when that cold front, or not really a cold front, but when that low-pressure system moves in from the Gulf and that heaviest line of rain and storms moves on in. It'll probably be about midday, so we really won't, I don't expect us to hit our peak heating there on Monday, so that'll actually limit temperatures more than likely in the upper 70s for most of us. So I guess you can take that in stride because we'll be in the 90s within about 3 or 4 days from that. But it does look like this is going to be the wettest rain event that Florida has seen so far here this year. Again, we definitely need this rain. And then afterwards, really kind of looks like we're going to start to move into a little bit more of a summertime-like pattern, not only with the heat, but also, just kind of those daily afternoon showers or, a quick downpour here or there. The jet stream is starting to move well off to the north by the time we get to really the end of next week. So it looks like we might be starting summer perhaps a little bit early here. I'm going to try and just go back here real fast if I can. Let's see if I'm going to try to just pull up some of the radar again to give you guys a look at what things are looking like outside right now. I don't have my laptop in here with me, so this is all just kind of on the fly. That's today's threat. We're getting close, folks. Temperatures, still 90 degrees at Jack, so you can tell the sea breeze hasn't moved through the airport yet. Still pretty warm there. It really seems to have slowed down quite a bit. So we got some storms in northern Nassau County, really just north of Fernandina Beach, a few storms there. So you can pretty much tell exactly where the sea breeze is at. So it's moved past Mayport, it's moved past Fort Caroline Road even, so pretty much right over the Dames Point Bridge, or is about to move over that. So the eastern sides of 295 pretty much smack dab right over where that sea breeze area is currently at. So again, we kind of have a couple different areas that we're watching. The sea breeze rolling in from the east. You have that Gulf Coast sea breeze continuing to work its way eastward as well. and then that remnant kind of outflow boundary depicted by that dashed blue line off to the north, that pretty much runs straight through the Okefenokee over toward Fernandina Beach. So once all these areas collide, likely right over about Highway 301 on the west sides of Jacksonville and the Jacksonville metro, that's really when we are expecting for some of these storms to begin to fire up. So timing-wise, I would say somewhere between about 5 to 5:45 for that collision time. And then after that, those storms will kind of continue to grow, develop, and shift their way back eastward here throughout the rest of tonight. So if you have outdoor plans, hopefully you'll stay dry. Hopefully none of these rain or storms hit you. But if you don't get it tonight, more than likely, you're probably going to see some here over at least the next 2, if not 3 days. So stay dry out there, stay safe, stay weather aware. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. And take care as always. Have a good one, guys.